All right, so in this video, I'll be talking about page 8 in the notes packet. This is where we're talking about evaluating functions, but instead of doing it from an equation, we're doing it from a table. So you might see something like this with certain x values and then certain functions with specific output values. And so there's not too much to consider here. Basically, what you want to do is if you're looking for f of -16, we know that that's the output value of the function f of x when the input value when x is -16. So in our table, we want to look for when x is -16, and then we want to look for what is the output, what is the value of f of x. And so that's in this column here. You see that when x is -16, f of x is -19. Similarly, when x is 0, g of x, which is this column right here, is 1. F of 17, well, when x is 17, f of x is -20. It's going to be -20. And we can do this in reverse too. If we're saying for what value of x does f of x equal 10? Well, let's look at f of x. Right, here's a column that says f of x. F of x is 10 there. What is the value of x? Well, that happens when x equals 16. Or when is g of x equal to 17? We go to g of x and see that that's actually the same row, right? So when x is 16, that's when f of x equals 10 and g of x equals 17. So you can go either way. Either start with the x value and figure out what the value of the function is, or go start with the value of the function and work backwards to figure out what the value of x needs to be. All right, and we can also do this from a graph. So for example, we have this graph here. It's an absolute value graph. But what we know is if you pick a point here, right, it's the point x, y, that tells you that where we are left and right is the value of x. And then how far you are up and down, right, that y coordinate tells you the output value f of x. So for example, if we're looking for f of -3, we want to look for where x is -3, and that's right there. And we're thinking about what is the value of y? Well, the value of y there is 0. Same with over here, f of 4, so when x is 4, you want to follow this up. We know we're there. So y has to be 7. All right. And just as we did with the table, you can do this backwards too. So if we're saying for what values of x does f of x equal -3? Well, here is y equals -3, right? Here is f of x is equal to -3. We want to see for what values of x is the function equal to -3. So we see that it's there, and that happens when x is equal to -6. If we do -1, well, we know y equals -1. That's this line right here, right? This is y equals -1. We're 1 below the x-axis. And so where does our function hit that? Well, it's right there and right there. So here we have two different values. We have x is equal to -4 and x is equal to -8.